On France 24. Dipti's joining us now for the paper. She's starting with something different. Senegal she's going to. Police arresting several people over allegedly committing unnatural acts. That's a reference, normally anyway, certainly, to gay sex, Dipti.
Yeah, that's right, Stuart. Among those arrested, Pape Cheikh Diallo, a beloved TV presenter in Senegal, and also the musician Djiby Dramé. The pair appeared alongside several other men in court near Dakar on Monday. Now, this website here, Sene News, reports that Cheikh Diallo and Dramé have now been deferred to prison while awaiting trial. The New York Times has a good explainer on this today, telling us that this is one of the most high-profile anti-gay cases in years in Senegal. According to police, there's an HIV positive individual who admitted to knowingly infecting other men who were contacted via WhatsApp. It's not known who that individual is, but the New York Times explains that these arrests come as part of a crackdown on homosexuality in Senegal, which has, quote, become increasingly intolerant of gay and gender fluid people in recent decades. Diallo interviews celebrities on TFM. That's Senegal's most popular television channel. It was actually founded by the musician Youssou N'Dour. And Diallo had some 3 million followers, notably on TikTok, where he has garnered a large following among young people. Now, this website from Senegal explains that it's sparked some angry reactions, notably from one gay rights group called Stop Homophobia, based in Paris, but which regularly comes to the aid of people in Senegal. The group condemning the arrest, saying that it will expose LGBTQIA plus people to further stigma in a devoutly Muslim Senegal, where homosexuality is punishable by prison. Stuart.
Dipti staying in Senegal for this next story. Major arrests have been made in what it calls a sickening paedophile project.
Yeah, that's right. And the details of that project coming to light in the press today, and they're very, very difficult to imagine. But indeed, this is a case. Wakat Sarah, a Pan-African paper based in Burkina Faso, reports that 14 people were arrested on the weekend in Senegal after months of investigations, both in Senegal and in France. This is to do with a pedophile gang that was operating in both countries. The men arrested are accused of organized pedophilia, pimping, rape of minors, the intentional transmission of HIV/AIDS. They're accused essentially of having forced boys to have unprotected sex with HIV-positive men and then filming, and the details are just absolutely horrific. 4 of the men were acting on instructions of a French man arrested in France last year who reportedly paid them to do this. Now, it's in Le Parisien today. According to Le Parisien newspaper, the network appeared to target a particularly vulnerable part of the Senegalese population called talibés, referring to children who are sent by their parents to Quranic schools, but often find themselves forced to beg on the streets and thus become victims to criminal organized crime.
Dipti's going to lighten the mood a bit. She's going to take us to the Olympics for this next story. The US superstar ice skater Ilia Malinin, who's getting a lot of attention in the press today.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been following the Winter Olympics, Stuart, but he really was the man that everyone was talking about, especially on Monday and on the weekend. Ilia Malinin, he's a new star of ice skating. The American figure skater landed the quad jump. The quad jump, it's one of the most difficult jumps in ice skating. It's a quadruple axel. He did this while in competition at the Winter Olympics while competing for Team USA. They actually got the gold medal in the end. The quadruple axel is basically a 4.5 rotation in the air.
Wow.
As the New York Times reports, a self-proclaimed quad god is the son of 2 Russian-born Olympic figure skaters who themselves competed at the Olympics decades ago for Uzbekistan. He was actually excluded from the U.S. Olympic team for Beijing 4 years ago due to inexperience, but he spent the last 4 years making a name for himself. Stuart, he also performed the first legal backflip in Olympic ice skating history. Let's see if the screen will allow me to show it to you on the weekend. Now, I say legal because quite a few skaters have actually landed the backflip in the past, but it was considered illegal. Well, he did it. They changed the rules a few years ago. And notably, one of those people who did it decades ago when it was illegal was this woman here, Surya Bonali. She is a French ice skater who landed the backflip on one blade in the 1998 Winter Games. And the story goes that it was illegal. She knew she wasn't going to get a medal, so she did it anyway as sort of a last-minute ditch to get points. She didn't get points, but she did get a trailblazing legacy, especially as a black athlete in a sport not really known for its racial diversity. In fact, one Canadian sports paper says Malinin made history with his Olympic backflip, but the glory was owed to Bonali herself, whose backflip actually became known as the Bonali flip.
Well, there you go. Got her into the history books, didn't it? Perhaps it worked for her.
Exactly.
Very impressive. I've been following the snowboarding, Dipti. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it comes on just before the news. Can't help it. It seems to be on every night. They're doing the same move every time. Anyway, very exciting. Dipti with the papers on France 24.